Well, when I bought this bike, it had 2,300 miles. We're at 3,300 now, so it's time for that good old 1,000-mile review. Let's talk about whether we like this Himalayan, what we don't like about the Himalayan, and just what the heck this little beast is. Probably one of the first places to start. Let's just work from the bottom up. Tires, I think he's got the top. I say I bought this secondhand, but he said he changed the front tire. Back tire's got a Pirelli MT60, so it's got its 3,000 some miles on it. Yeah, it's probably good for a couple thousand more. Can't have any complaints about it. Haven't done anything really technical with it. He said that he didn't feel comfortable with the front one, which was a match to that, which is nearly new. I've still got that. I'll probably use that for the first half of the Trans-American Trail. I'm pretty happy with this. This is a Shinko 804 Adventure Trail tire. Seems to hang in there. It corners okay. Got a decent feedback, and I've had it on the freeway a lot, on and off road, and it's holding up pretty well. I think this has had the majority of the life on this tire. So as far as that combination goes, I'm happy enough with it. I don't know. We'll put the more road-oriented one back on when this wears out, and save something knobby for the western half of the Tat when we get riding that. But that's all I got to say about the tires. Tires seem to be solid. It is nice to have a 21-inch wheel, I'll tell you that. Spokes are solid. Everything feels solid about it, and this wheel just rolls over things. I see things coming and sort of brace myself, and it's more like it's painted on the road. This little bike just tractors over everything. So anyway, that's about it. Nicely enough, the bike has both a center stand and a kickstand. I will say the kickstand's a little long. That's a common complaint with the motorcycle. It's sort of parked the wrong way right now, and when I first got off the bike, I had to push it down into the grass a little bit so it didn't tip over the wrong way. It's nice to have the center stand, good place to hang your little guardian bell and all of that. Chain's been good. The chain, surprisingly, that's one of the benefits of a bike without a lot of power. I went from chain motorcycles to a shaft drive for a while, swore I'd never have a chain because I was used to adjusting it every night after riding, and God, I just keep it lubed. It seems to, I think I've adjusted it once in the 1,000 miles, and it was kind of loose when I first got it. It does have a bash plate on here. Everybody complains about this. It's probably gonna go pretty soon. It's some pretty junk thin aluminum. I'll probably get some engine guards on here, although I'm not sure about the engine guards. I'm gonna put something on the side racks here eventually, so I don't know if they're that necessary, but they're a good place to hang lights and things like that, so we'll see. Moving on up to the suspension, that's one of the things that people say it doesn't have adjustment. There's zero adjustment in the front end. I don't remember what the travel is, but I've never bottomed it out. I don't ride that hard. The rear suspension only has a preload adjustment, no damping ratio or anything, but although I found it a little soft, I popped it up a notch or two, which was strange because the former owner was a lot bigger than me, to take the sag out of it, and it just works. I guess you don't need adjustments if it just works. Maintenance has been good. I crossed the 3,000, did the valves. They didn't need a single thing, but it took me 45 minutes to do the valves. Tank comes off easily and all that. The toughest thing was figuring out how to undo this one electrical connector on the other side, but YouTube is invaluable for everything. Moving back here, I got some racks for this thing aftermarket on eBay, and I don't know, I haven't had a lot of feedback from other people. They seem to match everybody else's, but like this doesn't line up with the guy. I'm gonna have to put another bolt in there. I think I've stripped this out. There are pre-threaded holes in the factory frame but nothing lined up really well. It's solid once it's all together. The rear rack here is notoriously weak. It's just cantilevered out in the middle of nowhere, so I've added a couple posts here. I got to paint them and clean this up. We'll give a little more support when I put a tail bag on there. I like the soft luggage. I prefer the soft luggage. It doesn't transmit to the frame if you drop it. I haven't dropped it yet, but I know that's coming. And you know, you don't, if it lands on you, it doesn't crush your leg and all of that good stuff. I haven't had a passenger on it, so I don't know how that all works, but it does have the passenger peg. One of the nice things, it does have the rider's pegs here, and there's a single bolt here to take this out. I'm fairly short, and I'm surprised. I wouldn't say the word is cramped, but it's not as loose as I would expect height-wise here. So, I mean, I think I'm going to enjoy even having that other half-inch. It's buzz to me, and all those things that people worry about are not a big deal. So there is a lot of complaint on these bikes about brakes, but I'll tell you what, the bike doesn't go that fast, and it brakes quite adequately. This is a very balanced bike, and we're going to kind of talk about that in the end, and that's the thing that I like about it. People want to put more horsepower to it, and when it doesn't have the brakes for the horsepower, the horsepower torque combination, the tractability is amazing. You just, I don't know what little voice prompt just shut my camera off there, but what I was saying is this is a very balanced bike, and not one that if they came up with a big power upgrade right now, I'm not sure I'd change it. You know, it will sit at 70, 75 all day. That's not the kind of riding I want to do, but if I have to, it's not uncomfortable. It's not unreasonable. It's not super buzzy. Maybe people have been spoiled or something, but if you go back, you sit along at 70, if you run into somebody who's doing 65, they're easy enough to pass. It seems to have an absolute max limit of 83 miles an hour straight downhill with the wind behind you, but shoot, does what it's supposed to. If you need to get on the highway and go somewhere, I wouldn't hesitate to ride it all day on the highway. You're just going to go 70 all day, that's all, and that's no big deal. If you're in a hurry, you need something else, but other than that, it's a good bike. So let's see if you don't do a lot of traveling, it's okay. It's a little soft, you know. I mean, it will go straight down the bottom. It's an odd spongy material. I've been through a lot of, you know, Russells, Corbins, Sargents over the years in different motorcycles, and the one I've been the happiest with has been the ones from Seat Concepts, and so I've ordered a Seat Concepts kit for this, and I hope to do a good review on that when it comes in. Seat Concepts sends you foam and a cover, and you actually use your existing pan. I don't know if I'll take it down to a upholster and have it put on. I did the last one, it wasn't too bad, but I had to go buy a pneumatic staple gun to put it on right. We'll see when it gets here. But you know, I mean, this is not a bad seat for a stock seat. It rolls you forward a little bit much. You're pushing yourself back some. And like all stock seats, there's no dish to it. They're high in the center. It's like you're sitting on a log. And that's just typical of a stock seat. The dish is what really gets you. And actually, the Seat Concepts seat, even though it's firmer, as there's, you know, Corbin, Sargent, et al., they support better. They support better, and you're comfortable for a longer period of time. Okay, a few things I've added an alarm there, so I turned that off. The stock mirrors, they're fine. Everybody seems to be going to these other oversized, they're not oversized, but they're ram mount type mirrors, double take I believe they're called. If they want to send me one, I'll review it, that's for darn sure. But I'll tell you what, I'm not seeing the point. I don't do that much looking in the mirror. This covers everything that I need to. Yeah, they seem cheap. They look like lollipops and all of that, but you know, this is not out to win a fashion show. They seem fine. If I break one, maybe I'll become one of the devotees of the double take mirror. I've added a RAM mount. I've added a secondary support here over the instrument panel. That was fairly cheap. So I can RAM mount my 360 camera, my phone here. I had a little buzz for a while, and I figured out it's where the phone mount was contacting the back of the windshield. I'll probably put a little foam pad in there. Let's see, what else have I done modification wise? I got a zip tied on adapter here for USB charging and all. The instrument panel is fairly complete. Tells you a lot of things that you need to know. I need to set my clock. I see that. I don't remember why I disconnected what. The compass is a wild little thing. It takes you a while to figure out. You go ahead and watch YouTube videos, and basically what you find is they ride it around in figure eights for hours and it doesn't work. That's supposed to be the method to fix it. I ran a big magnet over the front and it went into deep calibration mode, and I couldn't get it out of that, and I just ignored it, and people said just ignore it, and it spun around like a drunken sailor, and then eventually one day, just today actually, it came back. So the way it works, this little SE says we were last heading, or while we're moving, that will change to southeast, and the arrow always points to where north is. It's a little confusing, but it works. It's quirky. One of the strange things too, and I can't really get it to show right now, is, you know, it's got your standard mileage and etc. there, and your average speed was 21 miles an hour. Trip to I don't know why we've done that. And anyway, the bottom line is when it gets down to about a quarter tank, suddenly this switches over and it says F, and it starts counting up. What it does is it gives you the miles since you got down to this point. So if you like to rely on mileage but you haven't set your trip meter, it's kind of a neat thing, because it'll always tell you how far it's gone since that one point where it got low. Cables are another interesting thing on this bike. A lot of people, you know, I got into the motorcycle, I'll confess right away, Itchy Boots. Follow Itchy Boots. Look up Itchy Boots. You'll be amazed. This woman's ridden all over the world. I'm like jealous as can be. It does an amazing job. Got guts and all of that. But she carries a couple extra cables with her, as do seen a lot of people. These are like bicycle level cables. They're so light. If I get a chance to order some before I take off on a Transamerica trail, I'll probably order some throttle cable. I added a little, you know, one of these cheapo little cruise control things. It works. That's about it. I mean, like I say, with the cable, I don't know that I'm worried too much. It's adjustable down here at the clutch, and it's not a super strong thing. I mean, I've rigged things in the past when I needed to. It's not my highest priority, but let's see what else I got to say about it. You know, it's got an oil window, which is nice, better than a dipstick. It's very sensitive to the tilt. It's like you can barely move it, so you've got to do a little figuring out to figure out just exactly where level is. But the headlights are a thing that almost everybody changes, and maybe I'm just been riding motorcycles too damn long or something, because it doesn't bother me. It does well at night, but everybody seems to change to an LED light, and they feel like they're gonna, you know, die in the dark if they don't. I held 5 light bars on the side and everything. I don't know. I don't see the point, really. It's a cool bike. Everybody likes it. Everybody walks up and wants to know about it, and, you know, I tell them it's the oldest motorcycle company in the world, and they're like, I've never heard of it, you know. But you know, that's that. I've had a lot of bikes over the years, and about 5 bikes ago, I had my 650 V-Strom. I rode all over the country and in all kinds of conditions, and I really thought it was the Swiss Army knife, and I loved it more than anything. I realized that I was going to go off-road more, and people said, it won't have the power for that, and it'll be intolerable on the road. I find both of those things are false. And you don't have to ride along at 50 on the road either. It will sit there at 70, 75 comfortably, and I'm sure more comfortably when I get the other seat. However, if you're a long distance rider, you learn a long time ago that comfort comes from keeping pressure on your foot pegs. No seat in the world. I mean, if you take a look at, bicycle racers, those saddles, those aren't seats. They're to stabilize and to guide the bicycle, and this is somewhat the same. You're not going to sit down on it hard, even long distance. Keep the pressure on your feet. It's not an issue. When I get the seat concept seat, I'm sure it's going to be much better. But this isn't all day on a highway bike if you need to be. If you're not, you're a wuss. You know what? That's all there is to it. Anyway, that's what I got to say about the Himalayan. I'm sure I'll think of 15 other things. I want to get some boxes mounted on here and basically build a charging station. I'll put a top box back on the back. But I've got a duffel bag, waterproof duffel bag. I love the roll top waterproof stuff. It's good. All's been good. I haven't had any real trouble with it. One of the things that people do have trouble with, well, two things in the electrical department. The relays, apparently they say the relays are crap, but then they say the relay sockets are full of grease. To say the relay sockets are full of grease is an understatement. They come packed with so much dielectric non-conducting grease that it's not surprising at all that there are relay problems. So I pulled them out and cleaned the pegs off and put them in and cleaned them off again. I did that about 10 times, and they seat real well, and everything seems fine. I have ordered a set of backup relays, but I'm not really anticipating. There's 2 relays in there. One runs a fuel pump and one runs something else, but they're 2 necessary. They're interchangeable. I mean, you could probably buy 1 spare relay and a couple fuses, and you don't need a lot of spares with this bike. I'll pick up some tubes and a puncture kit. I got a pump. I got a lot of tools. That's about that. The battery, people say the battery is garbage. I'm still on the original one at 3,000 some, but I'll probably change that too. I'm going out on the Trans-America Trail. I'm hoping I'm not going there by myself, but I'm going, so there's a good possibility that. So I want all the reliability I can build into it. I'll get my satellite transmitter if I get trouble, and it seems to me that even at the times of year that I'm going, there are enough people traveling. I'm not going to be alone for 5 days. I'll probably run into somebody, but be that as it may, we want to be preemptive and just take care of as many of the problems as we can in advance. So I don't know, a lot of people put a windshield extension up here. I'm 5'7". I hang on to that. I'm probably like 5'6" because I've been old as hell these days. But you get to shrink. That's cool. But a lot of people with the extensions, it doesn't seem to bother me. I'm comfortable at speed or whatever. So that's, they make all kinds of fancy guards for everything. There are a lot of accessories for this bike, surprisingly. A lot of them come out of India, and the quality is supposed to be very, very good. I'm not unhappy with the racks I bought. They just don't line up. It's like they were drilled on the wrong jig. So a little banging around, and I'll get this all straightened out. Those bolts even come backing out now. Anyway, I've talked too much. There you go. Royal Enfield Himalayan. Get one, enjoy it, love the hell out of it.